welcome to Nobody Asks, the show that
Yes.
nobody asked for, backed by popular demand. My name's
Yep.
Colin.
I'm Maria.
We're going to
Colin's
talk
mom.
about politics. What?
I'm your mom.
Oh, I'm your son.
Ah, yes, indeed.
Ah, I am so tired, which makes for good podcast energy, I think.
Oh, sure.
But I've been waking up earlier, which is good, and I went into an office for the first time in 5 years today. So that was good. That was by choice. I was not forced to do that by some corporate overlord. I'm the corporate overlord.
You are indeed.
Um, and just like all corporate overlords before me, I don't really like work from home, but I'm not forcing my employees to do it. I'm just going in because I need to leave the house in order to be productive.
Yeah.
And today I was absolutely cooking on work, and now I'm tired. So, but I was going through it. Hello, Wendy H. Thank you for joining the stream.
Yes. Somebody else is here. I don't know who it is. That's okay.
That's okay. And if you hear squeaking, that is my dog. He's in prison right now because he cannot be trusted if I'm not watching him. But radar cam.
He's just
Oh
standing the
yeah,
whole time. He's not even sitting. He just stands.
radar. There's a good boy. There's a good boy. Okay, lay down, buddy. He says no.
Nope, it's a standing time.
No, he'll settle down eventually, but he's just gonna have to whine himself, and then realize that whining isn't effective. Guess what he learned recently?
What?
How to lift his leg when he pees,
Oh, isn't
which
he a
Moby
mature
has
fellow?
still not learned. Yeah, he's a mature fellow. Well, it was good. It's good because when Moby pees, he sort of gets his body really low to the ground, he flattens out, and he pees directly into the ground. And there's no directionality or leg lift. It's just time to pee, stare forward. This is all business, and then stand up. Radar was never like that. Radar was more of like a hunch to pee. Like he sort of wanted a urinal. So he's getting some forward to the whole thing.
Oh.
And occasionally he would pee on his front paws, and he would not notice that he was doing that. And then you'd have to, clean off his paws before he comes inside. And so I am a huge fan of the leg lift right now because it's preventing the peeing on paws. So
Excellent.
Good news for everybody.
Hot
Yes.
Potato had something funny to say.
Hot Potato says he thinks he's invisible when he stands still. He wants nothing less in this world than to be invisible. This boy would like eyes on him at all moments, and I don't think he can handle when there aren't eyes on him. That's why he's always just laid down. So,
Sweet.
so yeah. Well, anything going on in your life that you want to briefly speak about?
No.
Great. Let's talk about the wonderful world of politics. We have a few topics to go through today. What do you want to start with, Mom?
Where should we start? Listen, it's hard for me not to want to talk about all of the stuff happening in DC. I mean, it seems like it's ballooning into not just a single thing at this point, but we've got the I've lost the name. What is it called? The Guard. The
National Guard?
The National Guard. Wow, I couldn't find that word. The National Guard has, entered Washington, D.C. under the guise of, getting crime under control because, big balls, one of those Doge guys got carjacked by a gang of youth, a bunch of teenagers.
Yeah, look out for those youths.
Yep. And so now we've got the National Guard all over the place, and it's not even enough yet, right? Because now we've got Louisiana, Mississippi, and somewhere else, North Carolina, South Carolina, one of the Carolinas is also sending more troops in. It's bonkers. And then we've got lots of protests. Now it is interesting how differently. So I was looking at some of this stuff today, and it seems like on channels that seem to like news channels. So I'm not talking about, just regular old YouTubers. I'm talking about actual news channels. But the ones that seem to be more geared toward conservative people, when they show the protests, they show like 5 protesters, right? But then when
Which
you
is usually
see,
the opposite of what Republicans do. Usually they're like, it's fires, it's anarchy,
yeah, but now they're like,
it's a billion people.
there's 5 protesters and they probably don't even live in DC, it's that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They're all being
Yeah.
bussed in. These people, well, some of the stuff they always say, right?
You think
They
that
got
we're
too much
putting
time on
effort
their
into
hands.
busing people in and we're only going to bring in 5? What do you think? How encumbered do they think the Democratic machine is?
It's such a terrible machine.
It is a pretty bad machine, but I think we can turn out more than 5 protesters.
But then if you look at like left wing stuff, you see like thousands upon thousands of people all just everywhere, and they're just shouting down, any police presence. Sometimes they're interviewing the police, and the police are giving very nonsense answers, if they'll give you any at all. But you just see such a huge presence, and it's been days and days and days of protesting. Like, it hasn't let up. And sitting here in Mississippi, it's nice to see. I'm pretty disappointed with our governor for even sending people there. Nobody likes the governor. Even the people that live here don't like the governor, even though they keep voting for him.
I don't like the governor.
But it's like, what is the point? I just don't get the point. Like, as I read through the comment section, there's people that legitimately believe there's this huge crime problem in DC, that the DA has padded the numbers to give the illusion that crime has decreased significantly by just reclassifying crimes. Yep. And I mean, I'd be curious to know what level of truth there is to that, but at no point did the mayor of DC say, hey, you know what? I need some help. Please send in the National Guard. Did I not say governor of Mississippi?
No, you did. I think you just got it. It didn't get. Yeah, it
okay. Did I say something else?
Yeah, crime statistics are very difficult to really get clear information on. And I guess here's what my issue is. And I think that the issue is that what I'm going to bring up will make it seem like you basically just can't use crime statistics, which isn't really helping our argument. It's not helping anyone's argument. So like when I was in college, I was very passionate about like the issue of sexual assault, and there was always like a this number of women say that they've been sexually assaulted in their lifetime, but the crime statistics say that you have like a 1 in 200 chance of being sexually assaulted in your lifetime. And so the answer to that is underreporting, or like police malfeasance, people not trusting women, etc. So then in the 2010s, while all crime was decreasing, sexual assault was increasing. And the narrative in liberal circles was that while all crime is actually decreasing, women are more likely to report sexual assault. And so that's how those lines will appear in the way that they do. But of course, by literal statistics, that crime is increasing. Similarly, there are issues that are brought up when you talk about crime in in Black neighborhoods versus white neighborhoods, and all of this, is that it all has to do with the confluence of factors of a crime actually happening. And that number exists, right? There is an actual number of crimes that have happened. And then there's whether or not it was reported to the police, and whether or not there is police presence to write that down and actually file a police report that gets included in statistics. And then it's whether or not the state releases statistics like that. And so all of these layers make it very difficult to actually say what's happening
Yeah.
crime wise because everyone's different. It's very difficult to compare states with crimes, right? And what it seems like criminal psychologists and other scientists agree on is that self report is one of the most reliable ways to figure it out. But of course, that doesn't seem as official as like FBI data or state data. So uh, here's the issue with what I'm saying is that it doesn't really support either side of the argument here. It's just to say that our best crime numbers have to do with police reports and whether or not those police release those statistics publicly. And there are so many screens which can have different, restrictions to the filter between a crime occurring and a report being filed that the end number could be 20% of the total crimes, or it could be, 1% of the total crimes. And so comparison is difficult. One thing that I think you can rest your hat on is in the same place without a change in police policy on reporting, the crime decreasing. One might reasonably assume that for most crimes, there is no reason for it to decrease other than the number of crimes going down because the police are the same, the populace is as likely to report a mugging.
Yeah.
Um, and so a lot of people throw out sexual crimes as like an indicator of what direction crime is going, and then other violent and nonviolent crime is more of an indicator. But this is the thing. Uh, I have hated since living in New York the narrative that New York is a criminal hellhole. I
Right.
live in one of the least affluent areas of Manhattan, and we all feel perfectly comfortable walking around in this area. Um, there's weirdness for sure, right? And there's definitely weirdness. But if you congregated everyone that lives in Mississippi, in South Mississippi, into a one square block area, because the population of Ocean Springs is like what, 20,000?
I
Like
have no
it,
idea.
something like that, right?
Probably,
Okay,
yeah.
so that's like 5 blocks where I live. If you took everyone and put them all here, all right on top of each other, all using the same sidewalks and the same walk to the bodega, like you'd see some weird shit for sure.
Definitely.
Because
They're in
you,
my they're the ones that are in my neighborhood. Imagine us all being closer together. Oh my
yeah.
lord.
Oh, yeah, yeah. There's like 20 people that live near you, and yet you're still like, oh, well, maybe don't walk over there. There's wild dogs. It's like,
Exactly. Exactly.
really, things are sort of amazingly solid here for how on top of each other people are. So that's just one of the weird elements is that you can visit an area like this and be like, I don't know, I'm seeing a lot more weird shit than I saw in Mississippi. And it's like, well, you saw 5 people when you were walking around in Mississippi, and I
Right.
saw 5 people hanging out outside of my door. So these are different worlds. I've
Sure.
always hated that New York narrative, but there is something that's true where it's like if every week you have something like a person acting crazy on the subway and yelling and acting threatening, and then everyone acts like it's normal, and you know for certain that the police are going to be like, why are you calling me about this? You're on the subway. Yes, that's what happens. Like that is not getting put in the crime statistics. And so
Right.
then when you say New York has this low crime and low harassment, it's like, no, it doesn't. Okay,
Right.
it doesn't. I do believe it has a very low degree of violent crime, right? And we know that it has a reasonable number of homeless. But sexual harassment and general harassment in New York, it's significant. I've experienced it more here than I have anywhere else in the country because there's a million people around me.
Yeah.
And there's no shot I'm going to report it. One of my friends moved here, and outside of their door, there was a homeless man and a homeless woman that were in a yelling match. And then the homeless woman punched the guy, And then the guy just started wailing on the homeless woman. This is not a fun story. And our friend called the police, and the police said, "Yeah, they're homeless. Like, you have to. This is an emergency line. You can. We're not going to show up for just whatever." That was like our street, but 3 blocks east. This is so yeah. It's not getting put in the reports. So all crime statistics are just difficult. They don't end up being charged. They don't. Who
I
knows?
I did also want to talk a little bit more about the National Guard in general, because I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of people feel like, this is an overreach on Trump's part to be doing this stuff without governors asking. Because the National Guard is interesting in that it is controlled by the state and the federal government simultaneously. So normally, when the National Guard is mobilized in emergency situations, we've got flooding, we've got whatever. Usually the governor is asking for that assistance. But the reality is that the president can ignore the governor's wishes. He can in fact mobilize the National Guard in any state he wants to if he deems it an emergency. There's several reasons. He can do it for insurrection. He can do it for all different kinds of emergency scenarios that feel sort of silly in our current atmosphere. Let's see. I believe George H.W. Bush, when the verdict came out in the Rodney King trial, and they exonerated the police officers who beat him, and suddenly there was riots in the streets, that Bush mobilized the military. And I don't believe that the governor asked him to do that. So, that was, I believe, 1992 when that happened. So that sounds like not right. It can't be the right year. But anyway. But yeah, so stuff like this happens that we sort of choose to forget about. Even since Trump has been president, he mobilized. We know he did it in California, but he also along the Texas border, he mobilized the National Guard. In this war on illegals, or whatever he called it in that moment, that there was a surge of illegals coming that he needed to, and the courts basically said, no, this does not rise to what you're saying. And he had to pull them. But even though it feels like what he's doing is illegal, it is not technically illegal. I think that's what bothers me the most, is it feels wrong.
Yeah, it feels wrong, and it's disconnected from an occurrence, right? Like the National Guard was deployed in Minnesota on the behest of Tim Walz during the George Floyd protests, right?
Mhm.
That's just it is something that happens, but this is a manufactured issue. If you agree with the statistic that crime has fallen, and I have thus far not seen any reason to think that crime has fallen because of underreporting or anything like that. So it's confusing, and it's additionally confusing because everyone knows that the most unsafe cities are the ones in red states, right? Let's send the National Guard to Jackson
I don't think
and
everybody
to
does know that.
Memphis. Let's send it. Yeah. I'm jumping the shark with this, but it's the two big points that I think Democrats are too that they want to appeal to centrists and people in red states, and so they won't say it. But what real, honest statistical truth is that red states have the highest crime by a country mile. We have Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee are all brutal. Arkansas, Oklahoma, Alaska are the crime is a real issue in there, and the murder rate is 10 times as high as New York. And we do have gangs here, and it's they're all in one small little pocket, but they're there and they're shooting each other, and yet with gangs we're not even coming into within a factor of 10 of Memphis and Jackson. So that's one of the ground truths. And then the other ground truth that I love that Gavin Newsom said on Twitter recently is that red states are parasites to blue states' taxes. Um, California gives to the federal government 70 billion more than it receives, and Texas receives way more than 70 billion over what it gives in taxes. And Texas is a rich state, but the red states are parasites to federal funds. Mississippi, a huge parasite to federal funds. Louisiana, huge parasite. Alabama, huge parasite. Tennessee, huge parasite. Yeah, I can go on. It's there's a select group of blue states which happen to be the ones that the red states want to secede from, and they're not really part of America, that are propping up the federal government so that it can support these little baby states, that it can support socialism in these little baby states that need all this help. And that's Mississippi and Texas. And who's supporting you? New York, California, Massachusetts,
Yeah.
Maryland to a certain extent. Like it's just craziness. And I do like that Newsom.
I mean, we can talk about Newsom because he's come up a lot lately. Starting off, obviously he also had the National Guard there, but the gerrymandering issue. We've got an issue in Texas where Trump said it point blank: find me 5 more gerrymander, find me 5 more what's the word? Congress people. Take over these districts, make them red so I can get 5 more. And Governor Abbott said, "Yes, sir, will do." And it's just like, that's not how it works. It's not how it works. But the Supreme Court also ruled, I believe in May of 2024, so relatively recently, that gerrymandering is fine as long as it's not about race. It's fine to gerrymander around politics. Congressional seats. Thank you, Vinny. So it's fine to gerrymander around politics. And now we've got Gavin Newsom saying, bet, let's do it. And, we talk about how ineffectual Democrats are all the time. And it's nice to see Gavin Newsom, of all people, finally step to it and have something to say and say, you know what, we're going to play the game. You guys are accusing us constantly of playing it. Let's do it. And he's got his tweets. I don't know if you can pull up his tweets lately, but they are spectacular. Let me see if I can make my screen bigger.
Yeah, here, maybe I can zoom in. There we go.
There we go.
Wow. My maps, the best ever made, will soon pass in the greatest legislature anywhere in the world, not just America. America can thank me, Gavin C. Newsom, and 2 very special people, Magic Mike and Rainmaker Robert, who led the legislature. Total legends. These are perfect, beautiful maps. Better than Columbus, better than Google Maps, better than Apple Maps. Sorry, Tim, no gold bar for me, but I still love you. People are already screaming, "Mama, Mama," and I say, "No, I'm your daddy." The golden era begins at the Golden State, all because of me, the people's governor, the cartographer in chief, who will now let the people vote. Thank you, USA. That was 16 minutes ago. That was
16 minutes ago. Spectacular.
He just keeps doing them.
So yes, obviously he's leaning into the way that Donald Trump tweets or truths, whatever you want to call it, and it's funny and it's effective. So maybe we got to give Trump credit for that. But it's somehow having, and I guess this is making Trump mad that he's doing this, and it's making Trump change the way that he tweets. But we'll see how long that lasts. Are you looking for another fun one?
I'm looking for the one where he talks about Texas.
I think there's one where he talks about himself being handsome or beautiful or something too that made me laugh really hard, because I've seen Trump do that. He was talking about our country being the hottest country, with hottest in quotation marks. I'm like we're sexy, like we're a sexy, we're on the forefront. We're the it girl. It was very weird. Like, why are you calling us the hottest country? Oh, look at that beautiful piece of art right there.
Yeah, California pays a lot of poor red state bills. That was up there. I can find it. It's fine. Here, I'll stop sharing it.
I'll show it. I don't mind. It's funny.
Okay, well then I'll start sharing it again.
Yeah, you can share. It's great to see somebody pushing back. A lot of people have had issues with Gavin Newsom for various reasons. I love Old Man Yells at Cloud. It's probably one of my favorite memes ever.
Yeah, it was responding to, while Newsom is crashing out on X about Trace Gallagher, the CSD is clapping back. Do you have a comeback this time, Gavin Newsom? And he did the Old Man Yells at Cloud. I don't know if I fully understand it, but, you know. It's okay.
So my understanding, and this is my understanding, so I haven't verified this, and I would really like to, is that Gavin Newsom, he's got a digital media consultant, and she's a Hispanic woman, and she has kind of helped to create this, this persona that where we're making fun of Trump that Gavin Newsom has leaned into. And I also feel like Gavin Newsom has also been doing more like rally type situations, which Trump rallied nonstop. He never stopped rallying. And, I think that's why he's had, I guess, almost a cult following, because people were coming to see their cult leader, regardless of whether he was president. He was, let's go to the rally. Let's make friends because we're very sad people. So to see Gavin Newsom possibly rallying constantly too, I might be here for that too. That is a beautiful piece of art.
Yep. So this one's pretty good because he posted this successful Liberation Day. Thank you. And then Republican commentator Amy Curtis says, man, that whole no kings thing lasted about 5 minutes, didn't it? And then they responded this. So that was pretty good.
Right. Yeah. So they think no king, they don't want a king if it's Newsom. They only want a king if it's Trump. Somehow that daddy makes them feel comfortable and safe.
It's just people being hypocritical in like a confusing way where you're like, how do you not see this in yourself? But I think the answer is just that they're dumb.
I am bothered by Kid Rock wants you to support Gavin Newsom. That's
at Kid Rock.
Oh, JD Dance.
Oh boy.
Okay, so
there's just so many good ones.
There's so many good ones. I think I do get bothered with MAGA people in general, because there were times when I felt like they actually did have something that they stood for. Oh yes, we've got Hogan as an angel. Oh, all over Newsom. They're all praying over him. How beautiful.
I can't Tucker Carlson and Kid Rock. I can't believe like this one is like it's in the realm of too soon, but it's just so funny because it wouldn't be too soon for Trump. So it's just like it's just he's completely allowed to. What was this Bella tweet, by the way? I don't understand.
So nobody knows what that was. It was like, did he not know he was on social media? Did he think was he looking up somebody's phone number in his phone? What was he doing? Because
Bella.
It makes literally no sense.
Well, Newsom says Donald Tiny Hands has written his autobiography this morning. Unfortunately, low IQ. He spelled it wrong. Beta. Soon you will be, quote, fired, Beta, because of my perfect, quote, beautiful maps. Thank you for your attention on this matter. Gavin Newsom.
Beautiful. Bella. Okay, Bella. Beta. That makes a little bit more sense. Pete Hegseth sucks balls. True. Okay. I will say I do get frustrated by the MAGA people in that it doesn't feel like they stand for anything. These are the people that had 1776 all over their trucks. They got the Constitution on their T-shirts. And now it feels like they don't care about any of those things. They were just constantly shouting about states' rights. And now it's like, so the president coming in and sending troops that your governor didn't ask for, that's not that's not states' right. That doesn't smack of the same thing. I just wish that they were consistent instead of just owning the libs. Owning the libs is not a strategy for anything. It's so stupid. Yep. It's frustratingly stupid, because I feel like if they stood for what they stood for, they would be standing next to us finally. Because I think that's what I'm waiting for. For me, it's like I think we're all sitting here going to work every day, getting our fast food, going to the grocery store, knowing that our country is crumbling, but also I'm still doing what I always do. You're just like, we're all just waiting for that one certain thing to happen. I don't know what that thing is, but we're all waiting for it. And it feels like there's just so many opportunities here where it feels like somebody should be stopping this and nobody's stopping it. I'm not stopping it. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, yeah. I mean, we would. It's just that it's the Republicans that won't. I mean, it's sort of amazing how easy it was to make them fall in line. I mean, and you
you could say the same about us, couldn't you? I mean, we're not doing anything other than talking about it endlessly. I mean, there's obviously there's people protesting, but nobody's, it's like they know exactly where the line is. There we go.
yeah. What I don't understand what you mean by we're not. It's different. Like I'm talking about Republican senators and
Okay. Okay.
congressmen
Now I
and
see the difference.
politicians.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Like the level to which they are willing to capitulate
Yeah.
is quite strange to me.
Yeah.
And so there was recently there was an episode of The Daily. I don't know if you've been listening to it at all, but there's an episode about these Republican town halls that have been creating all these viral moments because Democrats have been getting organized and going to Republican congressional town halls and booing and saying all sorts of stuff.
Demanding
And
redress, right? Asking questions that they want real answers to, and
yeah,
booing.
and the Republican Party sent out a memo to congressional Republicans saying, "Stop these town halls. Like they're creating too many good moments for Democrats. We're going to stop them until like the momentum is stalled." And the Daily interviewed one of the very few Republicans that didn't listen to that call because one of his campaign promises was, I will do 3 town halls every year and, I'll hear what you have to say. And so there's this undertone in the whole interview, which obviously the New York Times is like a liberal press organization. And there's an undertone of like, oh, here's a Republican that's actually standing by his morals or whatever. But he's still a Republican and he's still like he voted for Trump. And he there's a point in one of the town halls where he's accused of being fascist. And he says fascist governments don't hold town halls to hear people disagree with them. And there wasn't even an ounce of recognition. And the interviewer didn't bring it up, but it was like, dude, the start of this whole thing was that the Republicans say they're not going to hold town halls anymore to hear people disagree with them. That was the start. Like this is an own goal of, yeah, we are fascists because the point you're making is setting up a dichotomy of not fascist holds town halls, fascist doesn't hold town halls. Start of episode, Republicans say not to hold town halls, and there's no element of it. And this is one of the better guys. This is one of the guys that is more consistent and has more of a love for politics and the American whatnot. And he did have a moment where he was caught and he said that he didn't know that part of the budget bill was in the bill. And that created like a viral moment for the Democrats. But he's one of the better ones, and even he doesn't hear himself when he talks because his base principle is we're right and we're not fascists. And so there's just no way to see it. It's just completely impossible to see. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just confusing.
I don't know. There's not as many, obviously I'm in Mississippi, so there's not as many protests here. And certainly when there are, they're not conveniently located, right? But, there was one on No King's Day, but I was in Oregon, so that didn't help me at all. My mom went to it though, so that's kind of cool.
That's cool.
I think I would like to go though, knowing that my mom went and she wants to keep going to them, that I would like to go and I just want to like wear a little vest that says I'm a surveyor. And I just want to ask people questions. I just want to go because there's always a counter protest at the same time. I just want to talk to those people and just find out what the heck are you thinking, man? Like I just legitimately want to know because I mean, it's just crazy. Like if you believe in freedom, like we've all been brainwashed in some way to believe that we have the best country in the world, that we're the only free country, which is not true. But all of these great things about our country, and yet we're happy, sometimes gleeful, to watch some of this stuff happen
Hmm.
to fellow countrymen. The divide that they've created with the idea that it's us and them, and we're all Americans. So there is not an us or them. It's we're all us.
Hmm.
It frustrates me. I know I say this all the time. I think I say it almost every time we do one of these episodes. We're all on the same team, but we refuse to see it. You know,
Maybe, yeah. Maybe we're on the
and
same team.
I did feel sort of stupid, when they first brought the National Guard into DC, and then they were starting to target other cities. He kind of said, "This is the war I want to stick it next," and I was like, why? What is he trying to do? And I feel dumb that I didn't immediately recognize that this was about racism. We're going after cities that have black governors, black leadership. And it just keeps going. And it's like the people that they're cracking down on. It's not white
What were
people.
I'm sorry, what were the cities?
I believe Baltimore.
Oh, Baltimore was in there?
Yeah, New York City.
Yeah, of course, but he's friends with the governor of New York City, at least for right
Right.
now.
I can't remember where else. Those are ones that immediately come to my mind.
I think he mentioned Chicago as a maybe.
Yeah. Uh, so there's
So
that
he's already
element.
done LA. Then he wants to do DC, New York, and Chicago. Baltimore is really the only um, surprise, and I guess it's just really close to DC, but it also seems like it's large metropolitan
I
blue
I
areas
saw
in blue
something about
states,
Boston today too, where there was the um,
large metropolitan areas
yeah,
in blue
and it,
states.
it was an Asian. Well, she looked Asian. She could have been Hispanic. An Asian woman who I thought was I don't think governor. I think it must be a mayor because it was Boston. And she gave a big speech this morning that was pretty good. Um, but so
He's
you take that into account, right? But then you also take into account the things that he's saying against the Smithsonian. They're not bright and happy and future driven and positive enough at a museum, the Smithsonian.
Mhm.
And so he wants to go and review all of their exhibits, and it sounds like whitewash them all, because slavery, ugh, we don't want to make that sound bad, and it just feels like we're trying to normalize slavery again. And it's, if you keep following the line, you're like, oh, how did I not see that this was about race? And I'm not saying it's strictly about the black race. I really feel like he's going after the immigrant population, so I feel like he sees Hispanics as less than also, so if not more
Mhm.
so, maybe. It just
I don't
frustrates
know
me.
if I'm seeing the line that you're drawing between race and this.
Well, I've said it to you. Now you see if you see it. Because I didn't see it initially until somebody said it in a comment. I'm like, what? And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. Now I start to see the pieces coming together just based on the people that they're going after. Like in DC, they're going after black people largely. So I guess I think
What do you mean?
I don't know if it's the White House's, if it's their Truth Social, or if it's I think it's their X. I think it's their Twitter account, that they were posting images of the people that they arrested in DC. And it looked like black men, doon, one after the other. And it was
Mhm.
like, first of all, this is a weird thing to be posting from the White House Twitter.
Sure.
It felt gross, but it was hard not to notice who they were targeting. But you just see if over time if you notice the same thing. Because I don't like to jump to that all the time. Because while I do feel like Trump is racist, I think he's more opportunist than anything else. But he has surrounded himself by extremely racist people. Oh my
You see
lord.
Trump's new painting in the West Wing? Why why is it burning behind him? Why is there a fire behind him?
That's a great question.
setting fire to all
What
these
a
American
great
flags.
question. Feels very telling. Very
Yeah,
telling.
that's funny.
Is he the Antichrist? Is he trying to tell you that through visuals? Even okay, did you hear about, I believe it was in Colorado, somewhere in Colorado, they had a portrait of him painted, like a Hall of Presidents kind of thing. And he did not like the portrait of him. And so he made them redo it. And the one that they
Yeah,
redid, he looks like, I don't know, Gozer from Ghostbusters. You know what I mean? Like the scary painting guy. And that's the one that he likes.
yeah,
The one where he looks maniacal, the one where he's lit strangely, like the bowels of hell have lit him up. And I mean, there's plenty of reasons to think that he might be the Antichrist. I mean, just this level of worship alone of an idiot. But that's just me having a little side thing, because if I could only ask one question, I'm just gonna single screen my. Can I just make myself one person on the screen right now?
sure. Why? What the
I,
hell?
I just have one question. Like, if I could just ask one question of RFK Jr., one question of RFK Jr., my question would be, which horseman of the apocalypse are you? Because, I mean, pestilence seems like the obvious answer, right? He's pestilence.
Sure.
He's
Yeah.
here to just spread disease everywhere. Whee! Here's some for you. Here's some for you. But he could just be deaf. I don't know. But anyway, I just want to know, if I asked him the question, do you think he would answer? Let me think about it. Which horseman am I? Okay, we can go back to two screens.
Thanks. Oh, I can't make myself one screen.
Oh, boo!
What a bunch of nonsense. Can't do this. Oh,
It's just me
still
again.
you bigger.
Oh, how do we?
Can
We'd have to
drag me
swap
over?
locations. There we go.
If I had to ask RFK one question, it'd be, what's the deal with your voice?
Well, I know the answer to that one.
Yeah. What happened? It just reminds me of, I just watched a freestyle rap cipher, and one of the lines that the guy dropped is, when I'm on the mic, I'll blow your mind like a Kennedy. And I it was like, that's pretty good. That was solid. Yeah, the reason that I am like hesitant, or I don't know if suspicious is the right word, about calling this about racism is that I think it is a trap that the Democrats have fallen into,
Sure.
is calling everything racism when it's already just bad, you know.
Right.
And
It's
so
bad all on its own, even without that.
if we're
Yeah.
gonna call something racism, it like needs to be clearly racism. So I mean, the choice of the cities just seems like big Democrat stronghold, enormous cities.
You might be right.
But I can look more at the photos of people. What the hell? Stop putting it up. Okay. Like, it's just a gross. It's pretty funny, but it's gross. Yeah, I just feel like we have to be strict about that. I also think that the the way that Newsom is going after him is so exciting, and I think that
It is.
a way the Democrats have been holding themselves back is this sort of holier than thou mentality that we've had about everything. And I like Newsom. I think that the uh, the first nail in the coffin for me, and this is like something that's going to, if I ever wanted to go into politics, this is not going to be a good clip for me, is um, you remember that comedian? She's got red hair. I want to say her first name's Kathy.
Kathy Griffin.
Kathy Griffin, right? And she posted the picture of her holding a beheaded Trump head, and everyone was like, "That is disgusting. That is absurd, and we shouldn't be dropping to this level." And blah 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 blah. And it was like, do you see what Trump's doing? Even back then, it's like, do you see what Trump's doing? Do you see the way he's talking about people, the way he behaves? You know, we've been saying in 2016, Democrats were saying that this is, an election about democracy and about um, this guy is a dictator. He's an American. Like all of the very strong opinions and ideas about Trump. And it was like, do we actually think that? Because a picture of a beheaded Hitler, of a beheaded Mussolini, people talk about the killing of Mussolini by the Italian people as like, well, what a great moment that was. It's like, do we actually think it? Do we actually hate Trump? Because uh,
I mean,
it seems
I
like
remember
you
when it
want to treat
happened.
him like Bush and
Yeah.
not like Trump. Okay, this is a
Yeah.
different. It also, I saw there's a comedian in New York recently that was talking about his childhood and it being during the Bush era, and he was like, which by the way, now I think of as the good old days, and it is just funny to think about the fact
Yeah.
that during the Bush era, even I knew that everyone was like, "How did this idiot get in the White House?" And now it is funny where it's like, God, I would just kill for George W. Bush. That's like,
Yeah.
you know, what a
Yeah, and
weird guy.
he wasn't great. I mean, in person he's an okay dude, but like as a
Yeah.
president, he wasn't great. He handed over a ton of power to his vice
You
president.
know who else is apparently an okay dude in person? Donald Trump. Okay. That people love Donald Trump in person. He's very personable. He's very charming. And it's like, that's
That's because
not
he's
an asset.
Yeah, that's
That's
because he's
not,
trying to steal your wife. He's playing a game with you. He's lulling you into comfort so you'll give him some good juice, some good information that he can use to sleep with your wife. I mean,
that could be part
or
of it.
whatever, or whatever.
That could be part of it. Yes. But that time and time again, people have been like, well, Trump's a different person in person, and he's very sociable, and he's like you feel trusting of him, and da, da, da. And it's like this what you're saying to me is not a good thing to me.
Right.
That the character of Trump can behave normally and elects to behave the way that he does is worse to me because now he's not just a crazy horse running around the White House. Now he is a cynical, uh, narcissistic, evil entity that is out there that can transform his demeanor and has figured out that the best way to behave in public is like this. It's more depressing to think about in terms of America, in
It's
terms
true.
of humanity. I, I've never understood those stories, which like Bill Maher
Bill
told one
Maher,
of those
exactly.
stories. Yeah, and it was like he was like, well, I've said all these things, but yeah, I went to the White House and he was just a better guy. And it's like, shut up. How are you not seeing this?
You've been duped.
Anyway.
You've been had. You've been sucked in. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, you're literally describing the Antichrist. Do you think that somebody who is, if you believe religiously in an Antichrist, if you believed in that kind of stuff, do you think that guy is going to be somebody who people aren't going to gravitate towards and like? Do you think he's not going to have qualities that will draw you in? Come on, of
No,
course he
when
is.
the Antichrist comes, we're all gonna what that his power will be that everyone hates him, and that
No, he'll
everyone gets
have.
that he's the Antichrist immediately. But he can shoot lightning from his fingertips. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Yeah, of course
No,
he's
it
going
doesn't
to
make
be.
sense. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I thought you were saying he was. I'm like, no, he's
Control.
not. Okay.
No, no, it's that. Yeah, so much of my frustration with people is just this. I think that there's one type of frustration, which is that um, people are too cynical of other people and don't see the humanity in others. That's one thing that can be frustrating. I,
Okay.
I think that there is just too much idealism among Democrats where they don't think that evil exists. And they see everything only as the overall structure, right? There's the group that is large and has power, and then there's the powerless. And it's like there's also just there's a second layer of straight up evil, and there are straight up evil people, like not determinism, but that there are people who have ill intent and do not have a moral compass that we agree with in our Western moralistic minds. Those evil people exist, and you have to you have
It's
to
it,
come to terms with that.
it is hard for me to wrap my mind around, because I am one of those people that has a hard time believing that evil exists. That there's still not humanity in everybody. Um, but there are. I guess the proof is in the pudding. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? If you gain power and you use it to step on people, to crush people, to manipulate people.
Or just like let's talk like okay, Kilmar Abrego Garcia is back, right? But there's this whole thing where the administration outright openly admitted that it was an administrative error that sent him to El Salvador. And he's in this prison, and they had that White House conversation where Trump and Vance and the president of El Salvador are basically laughing about the situation that this guy is in. They're like, "Oh yeah, no, we can't bring him back. That's crazy," and and they're laughing about the situation that this person is in because they delight in the fury that it creates on the left, and they delight in the idea that this guy that was brought there on administrative error is being tortured. Like, this is, they were delighting in the suffering of a guy, and that is a form of evil, right? This is why I get into arguments about, like, let's have me be the one that brings it up this time. This is why I get into arguments about Israel and Hamas, right? Because it's like there's the line of like I feel for the Palestinian people. I hate to see starvation, and it's horrible what's happening to the Palestinian people. And then there's the group that are like Hamas are freedom fighters, and it's like those people delight in suffering. They delight in suffering of their own people. They certainly delighted in the suffering of children and women and innocents on October 7th. And there's a culture of that within Hamas, and it's a virus, and it's parasitic, and it is evil. So there is such a thing as a freedom fighter. That is not what these guys are. And because you can only view it through the lens of Israel is backed by America, and Israel is powerful and has all the money, and the Palestinians are essentially imprisoned in Gaza and are poor and are slightly more brown in some cases than Israelis. Everyone in America seems to think that Israelis are all Ashkenazi Jews when it's mostly Mizrahi Jews, but it's fine. The oh yeah, you don't think I know the different types? So
I mean, I don't. So you're further along than me.
Mizrahi are Middle Eastern Jews, and they are ethnically quite similar to other Middle Eastern people. And they are, who knows what brown means, but they are more brown than Ashkenazi Jews. Ashkenazi Jews are like Eastern European, Russian, European Jews,
Okay.
and Mizrahi are North Africa, Middle Eastern Jews.
Okay.
And the majority of the population of Israel is Mizrahi. The majority of the Jewish population of Israel are Mizrahi Jews, and the majority of them were ethnically cleansed from their countries in the 1900s in the Middle East. So they're not exactly colonizers because they don't have anywhere they can return to, because a bunch of Middle Eastern countries that surrounded them already ethnically cleansed them. So it's a complicated situation. That being said,
Sure.
people can only see it through the lens of, the powerful and the powerless, and the people that are punching up and punching down. It's like there's another element here, and there's an element of straight up evil. There's an element of straight up evil in Netanyahu's cabinet. There's an element of straight up evil in Netanyahu. There's 100%. Certainly an element of evil in Hamas and Hezbollah, and what's the third one? The one that's in Yemen? Probably another H. It doesn't matter.
I can't help you. Sorry.
Yeah. There's an element of straight up evil here, and you can't just see everything through structures like this. So,
no, I agree with you. I just okay. So, as we talk about all of this, and my general displeasure with the Democratic Party, but we're seeing Gavin Newsom do some stuff. We're seeing a few people do some stuff. If we're going to get to a point when we're talking about an actual presidential candidate and what I want to see in a presidential candidate, I want to see this Gavin Newsom energy. But I mean, I want it even cranked up higher than Gavin Newsom. You know,
Yep.
you were talking about earlier how sometimes the Democratic Party just sort of soft talks things, you know, like they don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or whatever but look at where that's gotten us. And I have sensed that in myself as well, doing a show like what we're doing here. You know, we've had topics. I mean, we've talked about RFK Jr. before the election. We talked about Elon Musk back then, right? Whoa, you know, and we were pretty soft. I mean, we didn't like either one of them, but we were, you know, we rounded out the edges maybe a little bit more than we should have. And so I don't want a candidate that rounds the edges at all. No rounded edges. I want you to say straight up, I'm going to take the Constitution that we thought we all had, and I want you to strengthen it. You guys have given the president too much power. And while I'm the president, I'm going to use all this power that you gave me to have you strip it back away. And you're not going to be able to leave Congress, right? In Texas, we won't let this one lady leave the Congress building because she wouldn't sign a form saying she was fine with being followed.
Monitored. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to do the same thing.
It's crazy how much shit is happening.
Right. So if I was president or the presidential candidate that I would want them to say, you guys can't leave until you do this. If you want me to sign any of your other bills for what you want, you're going to sign one that limits, that you're going to fix the Supreme Court. There needs to be repercussions for being dirty. Write some legislation, fix it. Yep. There has to be a way to remove, I want you to do the same thing for yourselves. Congress, have some rules. Give me some age limit. Give me all this stuff. All of these amendments, all of the amendments that we have found loopholes around, fix all of the loopholes. There's no loopholes.
Term limits, gerrymandering, everything. Abolish the Electoral College, ranked choice voting.
Take back the power that you handed to the president, and there has to be repercussions for the president as well. All of this authority that the Supreme Court gave me is not okay. No one person should be able to do all of this.
Yep.
Fix it.
But
I'm telling you, as the person with that power, I'm not the president, but fix it. I want a president that's like that. Like, get it done.
Let's get it, yeah. And I want a president on the campaign trail that acts like the Democrat version of, let's not say the Democratic version of Trump, but I kind of want a little bit of a crazy person here's what I want them to take from Trump. I want them to create those sound bites that used to destroy Democratic candidacies and just ignore them, right? Yeah. Because they're creating so many sound bites that are exactly what people want to hear, right? There's no like, oh, well, I can't say that because of the oil lobby or because this group will get mad at me, blah, 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 blah. It's going to be like, fuck no, Congress shouldn't be able to trade stocks. They should only be able to trade on index funds. They should only be able to trade on the fact that the U.S. economy in general is doing great because it's their job to help the U.S. economy and help the U.S. worker. So fuck no, they shouldn't, right? And fuck that whole thing, right? Why should I have a term limit but not congressmen? That's absurd. I'm not saying I shouldn't have a term limit. Absolutely, I should fucking have a term limit. I don't know if it should be 8 years,
the Supreme Court.
So should they? The Supreme Court is crazy. There's got to be an entire reform.
I also think that the Supreme Court needs to have a way to, what's the word? Once they've ruled on something, the rulings can't be ignored. There has to be repercussions. Do you know what I mean? Like, they can say whatever they want.
There's got to be so many layers to this, right? And the Democratic candidate has to, like, for every two things that, like, the pro-democracy sort of overly involved in government Democrat wants, there's going to have to be one, like, bone that you throw the centrists, right? Where it's like, I'm going to federally take away the power of cities to down-regulate new businesses, some shit like that. I hate that New York City has not produced a new street vendor permit since 1979. And so they've created a black market for selling food permits that
each other.
were gotten way back then, right? That's a city regulation that has propped up corruption and which is anti-American. We want people to start businesses and we want there to be very few hurdles. We just want to make sure they don't kill anybody, right? We don't want them to kill anybody. We don't want them to, ruin the social fabric. But in general, if you're an enterprising young person, old person, I don't give a shit. You should be able to start a business and it should be relatively easy to do. I happen to run one of the easiest to run businesses in America. And still, there is some shit where you're like, I have to do what now? Right? And infrastructure. We have got to get out of our own fucking way with the building of infrastructure, the building of houses. Okay. There is an overemphasis on ideas like gentrification and environmental impact in areas that are already destroyed environmentally. Well, we can't build a subway in New York City. It's all pavement already. How? What, you want me to do an environmental impact study? Yeah. It's a subway. It'll decrease emissions. Fuck off. I'm not paying $1 million for this environmental impact study, and I'm absolutely using eminent domain to build under your fucking house, because if we didn't do that back then, we wouldn't have the best subway in the country. And the subway is what New York runs on. I'm very focused on New York, obviously.
Yeah. Like those are really specific to you.
I'll learn more about it. I'm running for president, and I'm going to say some crazy shit. And you guys just all have to come along with me and be like, yep, that was crazy what he said. That was a little bonkers, but listen to all the other stuff he said. Because if ever there was a candidate that does not know when to shut up, it's me. So, get me in there. There are absolutely no polished edges on this guy. All right.
Yeah,
I forgot to shave today. So,
but you also don't like negativity directed at you very much. So I don't. Are you tough enough if somebody says something mean about, I don't know, your physical appearance or the way you do X, Y, or Z? Like, is it gonna?
I'll just talk more shit. I don't know.
That's how you be.
I don't like negativity facing me, but also, like, do you remember how I acted in college? I was also quite embracing negativity coming towards me, and I don't really think it stopped me a whole lot. The thing that I hated the most was fake niceness that was directed towards me. That shit drove me crazy. But
so now you're in New York and you don't get that.
yeah. I mean, this is where I'm meant to be. But I was causing a little bit of havoc at MIT when I was there.
You were.
It was a bit, and I was thrown it to both ends, right? I was causing issues with the administration of the college, and I was causing issues with some of the student groups. And then I tried to sell shirts that said, like, I hate Colin. They didn't sell as well as I'd hoped.
But you can take that as a positive.
No, I think that people knew I was selling them. And it was because I didn't make it not obvious. But I was really hoping, because there were people that just despised me by the end. And at least then, part of my mentality was,
it's better than
fuck you, I'm right.
Love me or hate me. It's
right.
better than you. It's better than you not caring, right? I've stirred up some sort of emotion in you.
Yep. So, Colin, 2028. I mean, I literally am not allowed to run for president, but let's just elect me. Why are there's no rules anymore? Let's just elect me.
There you go.
Like, I'll just become mayor. I should have, this actually probably was the race to run for mayor. Was this, like, Zoran came out of nowhere. So this probably was the one to run for mayor in New York, but I don't know. Just New York City is small potatoes.
Maybe
jump straight to the presidency, no experience.
I mean, Trump didn't have any.
Oh, yeah, he's a great businessman.
There's no time for experience right now, man. This is like, right now, even what we're talking about, I'm like, if we get to the next election, if there's another election, because Trump is talking to Putin and Zelensky about how you don't need to hold an election if it's in wartime, and he's laughing about that. Right?
I saw that.
So even now, I think it's possible we're too late. You know, how do we find a 40-year-old Colin he's got a little more experience and is a little more crazy?
50-year-old your mother is as close as you get, but yeah, it's not. I definitely don't have the same experiences or knowledge base, but
you were in the military.
Sure, and I got out of the military because
you were pregnant.
With you, yeah.
You're welcome.
Family. Hey, you got. Are you on?
I loved my country, and the only reason I left the military was because I love my family as well. I am an American.
There you go. You can spin anything. You can spin it.
We moved around this country. We uprooted our lives for this country. We uprooted our lives for the fucking president. Like, this was... We did, right? And as your president, I will uproot my life to make things better. I am Maria.
Well, here, okay. I know you.
I will be your nation's shortest president, unless you count FDR because of the chair.
Hilarious. Yes, I would like to be America's shortest president. Okay, so I know you like the Hamilton music, but you haven't actually watched Hamilton. It's on Disney Plus. You should watch it. But there's a part of it where they're talking about, it's probably isn't it the very first part of the Constitution where we're talking about that we're a union. We are meant to be a group of, a collection of different people, different states with different needs that have come together with one big idea, with one big purpose. And no one man is more powerful than all of them together. And so I really think it is important that we remember that we are a union and we stop trying to let one person rule the day. It frustrates me endlessly. And I feel like everyone should go watch Hamilton.
Yeah, I've got a real problem right now with we're trying to watch Parks and Rec because Parks and Rec is just such good feel-good TV. Yeah. And that Hamilton, The West Wing, all of these shows that were created in an era where you could believe in the government, they make me want to die when I'm watching them. I'm like, this is how it should be, and it's not like that,
Yeah.
I work with city governments every day, and the vibe in city government is different now, right? It's high conflict all the time in city government.
Really?
And there's a new city we're working with, and the mayor is like Trump. I'm like, oh my God, you are modeling yourself after Trump. And his picture, he's very Italian, and his picture is like a shirt more open than this, and he's doing this, and that's his picture on the website. And you're like, what?
Everybody thinks they're a mob boss. I mean, so does Trump. He wants to be a mob boss. That's what he's like.
He's got a super mob boss vibe.
These are the coolest dudes ever. They can do whatever they want. They can just collect so much money. They got so much money. They can do whatever they want. Why is everybody giving me grief? I'm bringing the money in. They're giving me $14 billion to do whatever I want with.
I got a big plane.
I got a big plane. It's gold. It's for the American people for now. This ballroom, it's not paid for with American tax dollars. I got donations for this. Who doesn't want a big, beautiful gold ballroom? Bullshit.
Look what we did to the Rose Garden. It's pavement now.
We ripped those motherfuckers out.
Fuck roses, too many thorns. You know what they say about roses? Everyone has its thorn. All right, I gotta go.
Okay.
Do you want to play Time Guesser real quick?
Sure.
Yeah.
That was kind of fun.
It was kind of fun. I enjoyed the improv session at the very end.
Not that I was doing a Trump, I was clearly just doing a mob guy, but
you were doing a mob guy, yeah. Here, let's see.
Hey, I'm a mob guy. Let's go play some guesser game. I don't know what it's called because them words is
Time Guesser.
Time Guesser.
Okay, let me share my screen.
I'm a little shouty. I should calm down.
All right, let's go. It's in black and white, but it's quite high definition.
Share.
Decima.
If la
Oh, it's MacBook Air. Okay, so this is in the 2010s at the latest,
is like
or at the earliest.
French adjacent.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Luna. I mean, it's not French though, right? But it's not.
Is it
It's not
Portuguese?
German, or it's not Austrian. Sheriff Luis.
Bonjour, Sheriff Luis. Can we just look at that lady's shoes really quick? As weird as that sounds. What the hell are those? Okay.
A little funky.
When we're MacBook Airs.
Raiffeisen Bank. That sounds more Austrian. But what if
we're Belgium?
No, maybe. We think. I mean, what that with the weird squiggle on top of it?
Yeah, that A does throw me off.
What area of Belgium would that be?
I don't know.
Why can't I?
Maybe this is some weird Dutch.
Could it be Czechia?
Oh, I don't know what their language looks like.
Yeah, look at that N. Look at that N. I guess it's not a curve; it's more of like an arrow on top. But man, they got a lot of little accents. Luna.
Luna.
Let's see.
I can't read that stuff.
They like coffee. This is a very handsome guy.
Handsome old man.
Looking like what's that guy's name? The cowboy.
The cowboy.
Clint Eastwood.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, what about the person in shadow? We should look at that guy.
This
he's
guy?
He's the key to the whole thing. Oh,
he has a watch
and a backpack.
And jeans.
Some tight jeans. Skinny jeans, which matches up with the
17.
Yeah, somewhere in the 10s, 2010s.
Excellent exchange.
MacBook Air was when?
Yeah, I mean, MacBook Air is anywhere from like 2012 to now. Slovenia, probably not. Switzerland. They use francs, don't they, in Switzerland?
I don't know. Why did that have money on it? Oh, is that what the Luna was? The lei and the Luna?
I think so. Lei and Luna. So it's like not an EU country.
Oh, I don't know. What's above it? De la Nume?
De la Nume. Yeah, Nume.
13-inch MacBook Air. In 24, the rate, something.
And Raiffeisen Bank is just like, Raiffeisen just sounds so German.
It does sound German.
Like, you want it to.
But not exclusively.
Like, I want it to be Switzerland.
Okay, well, we can just pick Switzerland. Just for the joy of it.
I don't think it's Switzerland. I think our best bet is Austria right now. But
well, let's go to Weiss there. Weiss, up above.
Where is that?
Where you are. Zoom in.
Oh, Weiss. Yeah. Wields. Blink. And then we want to say 2016.
Sure.
2017, Romania. Okay. Not bad. Not great.
Good enough. Oh, okay.
Okay.
This looks older for sure.
Original homeopathic pharmacy. It's in New Delhi.
Oh, that's helpful.
Real estate agent.
Oh, that's the whole picture. I'm like, can I look at their feet? No, we can't look at their feet. No feet for you. Can I look at that guy's bag?
This is a helmet.
Oh, is it? Oh, it is a helmet. Are they all covering their faces?
Yeah, it makes me think it's COVID, but it's like
but they're still all jammed together like a bunch of ding-dongs.
Yeah, I think it's got to be COVID, but it does look older.
Their clothing doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know how people dress in New Delhi.
I mean, I think they would still have fashion.
Yeah, well, and usually there's a phone or like a watch that will tip you off that it's newer.
Yeah, I don't see like watches at all.
that helmet is, it's certainly after the 70s, I'd assume.
Yeah. We might be the 90s here.
90s. Oh, yeah. What was mad cow disease in India?
Possibly. So like 98 then? That seems too new.
You think so?
Maybe.
It could be 90s.
I mean, I'm still leaning towards the 90s. Although.
Okay, let's say 95.
Okay. And it did have to do with that helmet.
1994. And we were really quite close. Wow. Nice. New Delhi's pretty big. That was a surprisingly good guess.
Oh my Lord.
Okay.
This is very black and white. 1912.
Keystone Review Company. Yeah, World War One.
That says New York on the picture.
What does?
Up on the corner, something New York.
Meadville, Pennsylvania, New York, Portland, Oregon, London, England, Sydney, Australia.
Oh, you just gave me a bunch of places. That's not right.
Uncle Sam and John Bull, again, fast friends. It's John Bull. Is that?
This is not America.
Yeah, well, that's Big Ben, isn't it?
I don't know. There's two. There's
yeah,
two of
I
them.
think this is Big Ben, and this is like
manufacturers.
I mean, could this be World War II?
Let's think about that helmet. That might be more World War I.
Yeah, it's just that it says again fast friends, where you'd think that it's referencing World War I and World War II.
Oh. It could be.
Where the hell is Big Ben?
It's one of these large things with the circles around them.
Is it in the city of Westminster? I don't know London's layout. No. Okay. Fine. I don't really want to figure out where it is.
All right.
We're going to say it's by King's College.
Okay.
And then 19.
Can we zoom in on their hats and their armbands? Maybe that one guy has an armband on.
Who has an armband? Oh, this guy.
Right there. Maybe he's just a platoon leader or something. But I don't like that armband. It's making me uncomfortable. I see American flags. Yep. Oh my gosh. What if this is like Chev? This is Swanee. Not Swanee. What was that other city? This is Belgium.
Mons?
Mons. What if this is Mons?
It's not, dude. That's Big Ben.
Okay. We'll go with
I don't know it is, but I think it is.
So what year did we liberate?
Give you a stereo card. We were exactly right on the year. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Exactly right on the year. Almost exactly. Yeah. If you had let me look, then it would have been a perfect 10,000. But
sorry.
American Yankee troops marching through London during the late stages of World War I. Bang.
Look at that. It was just the next bridge over. I should have been more patient.
Okay.
Fancy. 70s or 60s. Let's see.
Instar.
I mean, it's America, but that's not very specific, is it?
It's America?
I think so.
A lot of accents for America.
Oh, where do you see accents?
Penstar up here.
Oh, you're right. What is on the other sign?
This says Kongs Zuzka. This is like Ukrainian. For some reason, I can't scroll into the picture on this one.
That's annoying.
Penstar. I don't know. Okay, so what we think this is the 70s, the 60s?
Yes. One of those.
Okay, and then who has accents like that? Probably not Zurich. But it is quite nice.
Croatia? Let's look at Croatia. Slovenia?
Croatia? No shot. Maybe. I mean, it's a lot of Z's next to each other. That feels like that's a certain place. Oh, here we go. What is this? Is this? Oh, it's still Croatia. Okay. Maybe you're right. Maybe it is. Or maybe it's Hungary. Oh, it feels like Hungary.
Want to go to Budapest?
Yeah, let's go to Budapest. Okay. Budapest and 1969. 1968.
8. Let's go with that.
1980. Oh my gosh, I was so close again. What the hell? Look at how close I was. I just clicked on Budapest in general. How am I getting these towns so right? I am sick with it, dude. I'm sick with it.
Good.
So good. Last one. I think this is in America.
Cardinals.
Yeah, so it's in St. Louis.
We still have ads for cigarettes. So probably the 80s. But I have to look at their clothes.
I should know who these people are is probably the real case. Daily?
No idea.
No, they don't have names.
Let's look at the children and their footwear.
They're what?
And their hats.
They're what, man? These
Nikes.
cameras look like 90s-ish. But these jerseys look older than that.
Does the other guy have a mullet?
A little bit. Looks kind of mullety.
I still want to go with the 80s.
He's got a bowl cut. You want to go to 80s? That sounds fair. Okay.
That guy's got a nice fro.
If you'll give me a second to find St. Louis's ballpark.
I'll allow it.
All right.
While I stare at these hairdos.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out.
Fully in mullet land.
This is. Wait, where the hell is the ballpark? I feel like St. Louis's ballpark has a view of the Gateway Arch, but I could be wrong. Oh, Lord. Oh, there it is. It does. Look at that. There it is.
And I want to say like 87.
87. I'll trust you. You were alive. 88.
Oh!
Wow, very nice. And it's wrong about the location. This is inside the stadium. And it's, did their stadium move? That could be it.
I don't know.
That's clever. All right, final score, 44,000. We're pretty good at this. We're pretty good. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining. Have a wonderful week. Don't let Trump get you down. And
maybe next week we can find some positive things that we're finding out. You know, people pushing back in ways that give us hope. Maybe.
Nah.
All
right.
Ciao.
Love you guys.